Michael calls up an example of an RSET synthetic environment. What we're going to actually be looking at is the data view of Matterport. And that data view looks exceptionally rough. So, Michael, is that something you're able to share with us? Yeah. So, as Michael calls up an example of a tour, this actually looks really good. So that looks like the marketing view that I'm looking at, Michael.
Yeah, but this is actually the 3D data that he's got running. This is inside RSET, a scan of a school that's near us.
Wow, that's crazy. It looks really good. Okay, so let's hold right there for a moment. If you just hold right there, that's awesome. So what I really want to show is that this data view of the Matterport tour, that the .obj file that we're looking at, you see all of these rough edges and textures, and you go, gosh, that looks like a mess from a marketing standpoint, meaning if this was a house, you would never use the data view to sell the house because it looks like the house has been deconstructed. So I'm going to imagine, and maybe Bill, you could jump in here, that a police, fire, emergency medical responders could care less that computer console that's straight ahead has rough edges on it. Really, you just want to understand the space.
Yeah, so a lot of the scans, and by the way, they're getting better, and the Pro 3 has even a little bit better output of the OBJs. So, but the scans themselves are if you have a small radius item like the leg of a chair or a table or something like that, very often that doesn't scan well for an OBJ. What we can do, we can correct that in later, but so a police officer would be more concerned with how long is this hall? How many doorways are off of here? If I'm a firefighter, I know I can go down here and turn right and go in this room, and there's actually a little coat closet in the back that when we're clearing this building, make sure you clean it, make sure kids aren't hiding in that space. So you're more concerned with.
I'm sorry, Michael, could you just be moving through the tour while Bill's talking? Yeah, thank you.
But see, flat planar surfaces like this scan really well. They look great. It's very often small items like this or some reflective surfaces don't, but that doesn't really matter when you're doing a training scenario. You know where the building is. If you're going to walk through the space, it still does pretty well and you can get the general idea, but the chairs on top of the desk aren't going to look that great. Now we can, in the software, you can cut this out and replace those chairs with actually good looking chairs if you want to make a better model. No, this isn't for trying to sell real estate. It's not trying to sell the home. You want the really high resolution images that look pretty, but that's not what we're doing here. We're actually letting people set up scenarios for training in this space. And again, I still think it looks pretty good for what you're getting out of this. But you're right. It's not the same as the 4K images that you would pull down.